Hello, good evening. It's Monday, so it's monthly make time. Apologies, I'm a few minutes late. I'm always late on a Monday, aren't I? I was actually finishing packing up the monthly makes. I've got about another, that many to do. Not many to do at all. So yeah, it's monthly make time. Let me just finish sorting this out. So I'm all a little bit behind, as usual, for a Monday. There we go. Right, we're all set now. I can see everything. Good evening. I think I've missed somebody. I do apologise. Evening, Chris. Evening, Sue. I think it was Nicola. Good evening, Nicola. So yeah, we're going to get crafty because next week we will be launching our May box. In fact, it's May. Evening, Debbie. So tonight I've got a flower. Well, we're going to do a bit of a background with our triangles. We're going to create a bit of an ombre and then we're going to pop a flower on it. So that is my plan. Oh, just realised I've got hair everywhere. Look at that. Oh, never mind. This is why I don't look at my screen very often. So yeah, that's what we're going to play with. We're going to play with our triangles and, well, I stumbled across a flower that I want to use as well. So we'll be doing that. So should we get going? I think so. Let me pick the right button. There we go. I've done it. So that confused me then. I thought my screen was the wrong way around. It's not. It's me inks are the wrong way around. Oof. Evening, Maxine. Evening, Mum. I know that would have really confused me. So I have got my favourite size card. You know me. I like my 5x7s. I've cut myself a nice black mat because I think that will really work on this. And then I've just got this one. So this will be 4.5 by 6.5. And I just, you know, I do love me 5x7 cards. I do think they are a wonderful size to work with. So I have got my stamps. I know I've still not put them away properly. I will do. So I'm going to start off with this one because what I want is we're going to create a bit of an ombre going up the side. We're then going to plonk a flower on it and I'm going to do a bit of colouring because I thought I'd keep it very easy this evening. So I have got basically a red, an orange and a yellow. That's how simple we are going tonight. So I'm going to turn this round. I love this one. It's my triangle of triangles. It reminds, I can't remember what it reminds me of. It reminds me of something. I think it's a logo off something. I can't remember. But it is. It's bugging me. The more I see it, the more it reminds me of something that I don't know what it is. Anyway, so I am going to start off with, I'm actually going to start in the middle with my orange because then I can space it out, can't I? If I don't start in the middle, I might run out of space by the time I get to the top. There's nothing worse than running out of space on a good idea. I can't be the only one that does that. So, has everyone had a lovely weekend? We've had one full of parties. Bear has had 2 parties this weekend. So all I've done is I've inked up and I've spritzed. Toblerone! Absolutely. There we go. See, I knew somebody would know. So Bear, that's not going to work, is it? Because it's all blue. Oh, it did. It did work-ish. I overspritzed. Does look like a Toblerone. You know I've got to go and find a Toblerone now. Right, so we've got one. I'm going to grab my red for my next one, and I'm not going to spritz it quite as much this time. So yeah, we've literally had parties this weekend. We've had a bowling party, and then we've had a disco party. Very exciting. In my day, we just used to play pass the parcel. Yeah, a bit of dancing, a bit of pass the parcel, a bit of statues. Oh no. It's all magicians and bowling and all sorts these days. But he's had fun. So you can see where I'm going, can't you, with this? Yep. So I'm being a bit heavy-handed, but it's not going to matter because it is my background. So now I'm going to put it this way. Yep. However, I want it to be half orange and half red. Yep. So I'm going to do my half orange. And I'm going to do my half red. Or there or thereabouts. Not being too picky. I'll get my spritzing right at some point as well. And then we're just going to plop it in there. Evening, Susie. There's that one. Yeah, so can you see where we're going now with this one? I'm going to grab my red one again. Give it a quick spritz. And all I'm doing is I'm just wiping it because I am trying my best with my Inky Pinkies not to get them everywhere. I'm going to pop that one in here. Easier said than done though with me and my big sausage fingers. I do admire those people that can create beautiful, beautiful cards that have got so much white space on them. I just find it so hard. Right, so this one I want yellow and I want orange. So if I turn it that way, then hopefully I'll get this the right way around. I'm going to do yellow on this side. And then we're going to grab our orange. I should have said I've got mustard seed, dried marigold and fired brick. Give me 3 today. And then mustard seed and dried marigold are a bit of a bright and a paler one, aren't they? Normally it'd be fossilised amber, but he wasn't on the shelf when I looked a minute ago. There we go. And then this top one I want to be orange. I can't decide are we doing another layer or not. Evening, Noala. I don't know why I inked all that up. I didn't use half of it, did I? Just chasing a piece of card around my table. Now, I can't decide if we might just do at the bottom here. Like follow that one down to be there, wouldn't it? Ooh, decision time. I think we might just do that bit there. Because the flower I want to use is our one of a kind. Now I know you guys, the monthly makeup, got this from last year. Ooh, it's all stuck to things. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Because I thought that one would look pretty neat. I'm saying that, hang on. Ooh, it really is decision time. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I do. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to do any more. Yes, I am. Who am I trying to kid? So I want this one to go on here. So I need a little bit of orange and then a whole lot of red. Yep. There we go. And then I want red, don't I? I'll get that. That didn't work, did it? And then we're just going to give it a quick spritz. So he's asking, will we be on TV anymore? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. We might do down the line, but just not at the moment. There we go. So we got that one. And then I'm done with my orange now. I'm going to keep my red. Look at that inky pinky. Good job. We're coming in with more. So the reason I did more is to keep my inky pinkies covered. I'll do this one here. I know, I did the whole thing again and we didn't need to. this one inked up. And spritz. I do love using these ones. We could have done it in the stripes, but the stripes is a lot more open. I got a bit overexcited with my spritz in there, didn't I? Put that one in there. To be fair, I have been very heavy-handed with my spritzing this evening. And then I just want one more, so we've got like a coming across. Oops, again, so heavy-handed. I need to go to spritzing school, I think. One spritz is really enough. I'm going to pop that there, and then I'm just going to turn it around a little bit, and I'm going to cheat. I've got a little bit of ink just there to finish that one off. So, lid back on my red, otherwise it's going everywhere. And then I'll grab this one again. I'm not going to pop it on this time, but can you see? Yes, that worked, didn't it? Right, I'm happy now. Oops, brushes falling out the tub at me. Let's get this dry. To be fair, most of it's dry already, it's just a few bits. The newer stuff was stamped that isn't. Look at that fired brick. Such a lovely red. And actually, I'm glad we went with the squeeze. No, mustard seed, not squeeze laminate, mustard seed. And it works really well. I made it hard for myself as well because we could have just done orange and then red at the bottom, but I think it's nice where you get the mottled, the mixture of the two. Right. Oh, do that a little bit. I'm just making sure this is as dry as possible because we're going to be stamping that big image on it. So I don't want it to be wet, because all that's going to happen if it's wet, I'm stamping more ink onto it and it's just going to bleed and run, isn't it? So don't want that. I always think it's worth, if you're going to be putting your stamping on top of it, something like this, just give it that extra little bit of time, yes, to make sure it's dry, because otherwise you're setting yourself up, aren't you, to fail. I don't want that. Oh, I've not got the strength to get the polyplay off here now. Oh, there we go. It didn't want to come off at all. Let's pop that on there. And then we need a lovely black juicy ink pad. Can't get my ink pad off now, my lid off. There we go, so I'm just inking this one up, making sure I get all those really solid areas on it. So this was our one of a kind from last year. I want to say April last year. There or thereabouts. Might have been May. Right. I'll pop that on there. I'm going to turn this round, and I want that big flower head in over to that side, yeah? Ooh, would help if I was trying to get it stalk straight-ish. There we go. Ooh, squeaky fingers. Give it a nice press. And actually, to be fair, we're going to do some decoupage with this, so I need another matte layer. There we go. So there's that one. And then We could have masked all that off, but we're going to cut it out instead. Yep. So we're going to ink this up again. I'm only going to concentrate because I want the flower head. Yep. And I want the little petal. I always forget where I've inked when you're doing black on black. Same ink pen around. And there we go. Just whack this on here. So I want that little petal. I'm not too fussed about the rest. And sorry, leaf, and then I want my big flower head off here as well. Just give it a good press all over. Or in my case, a rub. My hands don't want to work. There we go. That should be good enough. There we go. Pop that over there. And we're going to get these dry because we're going to do some colouring on that. But I can't decide what colour yet. Part of me wants to do blue, but I always do blue, don't I? Might do purple. I think I might do purple. What do you think? I want contrast to this red. I think purple, blue. There we go. And I didn't ink it up quite right then. Should be alright now. And I wonder why my ink pads are always drying out. It's because I don't put the lids back on, isn't it? Noelle says purple sounds good. It does sound good, doesn't it? And I'm going to use brush as well. Yeah. So let me just grab it. I'm going to change. We're going to use violet. That will look amazing. And a bit of leaf green. I always forget violet, but it's a lovely one. So I'm going to move that to one side, and we're going to work on this one. So I'm going to start off with my green first because it's only a little bit. So I'm going to pop a little bit on my table. Oh, too much. Didn't want to come out and then everything. There we go. And I'm going to cheat with my painting with this one. So I'm going to go really watery. Can you see how we've got 3 different lines to our petal? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour one, the whole of it, really, really pale. So I've gone for that outside one there. I've got loads of water on my brush. And then we're just going to activate a bit more brush out. Just like that. So we've still got quite a bit of our water, but we're just going to activate a bit more brush out. We need a bit more than that. Oops. We're going to come up to that second one. Yep. So we're just following the lines, and then all I'm doing is I'm taking out a load of water out of my brush. Yep. And this time we're going to activate the remaining brush on my table, and because my brush isn't as wet, not quite, I'm just going to pop a little bit more brush down because I want this to be a lot darker. There we go. So my brush isn't that wet, and I'm just activating this bit here. And this time should be able to come in really dark, kind of like I was telling a tale then, really dark. That was my best book reading voice there. There we go. So can you see we've gone from really watery and really pale to our mid one, and then that one there. I'm going to do exactly the same with our violet for our flower. Don't know if you can quite see from up there. I'll sort it out in a minute. There we go. You can see my really bad painting when I bring it up that high. It's alright. We'll sort that out in a minute. Then we're going to do our violet. So I'm going to do exactly the same. I want one that's quite watery. Maybe not as watery as that because it's bled a little bit on this card. Make sure I haven't got too much water in my brush. There we go. Just take a bit of that water out. And then we're going to start with our furthest one away. Just colour in the whole thing. Just follow those lines down so we know which one we're working on. And I'm just going to activate a bit more. There we go. And we'll go for this one this time. Follow one of the lines. And sometimes it's a little bit tricky to find which line's which, but take your time and you'll find it. There we go. And this one. Oops. I ended up with a little bit of brush over. There we go. Right, and then this time we're going to activate a bit more, but we're going to put more brush in there so it's a bit darker. You can see how dark that is. So we're going to start where we finished before. Just following those lines. And the reason I'm doing it this way, is it's kind of cheating, isn't it? So I don't really have to colour in properly. I'm just taking one colour and adding to it, instead of doing all my shading bits. I guess it's cheating. So I'm just following my lines round on my second biggest petal. Do exactly the same on this next one. So just bring it over, which will be here. Keep turning it round. Quite liking this effect. And then we'll grab this one here. This one has to go a little bit darker because I went a bit darker on the first layer with this one, didn't I? And then take this one here. There we go. And then we're going to go really dark this time. So almost raw brush how we want this time. I'm going to start off with this one again. I do need a bit of water because it's not moving very well. There we go. So you can see we're starting to get those like 3 layers of colour. There's plenty there. Get some more of this, like virtually raw brusho, isn't it, that we're using here? Only just activated. And we need to come all the way out on this one. All the way out there. Yep, we're going to go for the smallest one in here now. And then in this one. Nearly there. It would be quicker just to do one petal. You choose one of your petals, colour it in and do a bit of shading on it. However, I'm finding this a bit more fun. There we go. And I'm also playing chicken now, whether I've got enough brusho left on my table or not. We shall see. There we go, plenty. I'm starting to think we wouldn't. I haven't got much left on my table. Right, what I am going to do though, let's grab that one. Okay. What I am going to do is I'm going to do a bit of splattering. So we know this is dry, and I just want you to see how we've got our droplets coming down here. I'm just going to add a few more in with our purple. It's not purple, violet. There we go. And before that can do anything, it's going to get dried. Because all it's going to do is reactivate that distress ink we've got on there. And I don't really want it to do that. So before it can run and bleed and mix and merge, there we go. I'm just going to get it dry. And I'm cleaning my paintbrush at the same time. There we go. And then we're just going to dry this one off as well. We've got that lovely intense violet. Purple would have worked too, but I saw violet and thought, oh. You can tell how much water I put on there to begin with. Can you see where it's just dipping in the card? Yeah, and that's just the water on the fibres of the card. I think we're dry. So, I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to start with this one. So before I cut it out, I am going to come in and start doing some of my little dots and dashes, because you know me, if it's got a dot or a dash and these chunky bits on its bits, I'm not doing them all because I'm only going to do the ones that are going to get cut out with us in a minute. That's what we want the ones that are going to come with us. I won't lie, yes, I have ended up putting white bits on bits that I've ended up chopping off before now. Bits I haven't used. A few more dots in the centre there. like that. Oh, let's do our petal as well. Not petal, leaf. Should be okay. And then scissors. They should be around somewhere. And I'm trying to decide, are we, aren't we? Yes, we are. We're going to leave a little white border. Just a smidgen. Just make way for those little dots and dashes around the edge of our design. Oops. Just going to chop it up there. So that then, oops, the daisy, I did that a bit too. There we go, I cut it off a bit too early. No one will notice that. And then I'm just going to cut this one down. The only downside of working on really thick card is when you come to cut out things like this, it can be a little bit trickier. But there's no way you get paper holding quite as much moisture as what we've put on here. I'm going to do a cup border. Going round. Chopping it off as we go. Nearly chopped that bobble off, I didn't mean to. And again, I know I say this quite often, but because it's got quite jagged edges and things to it, no one's going to notice. If your cutting out's not the best. If it was nice smooth flower petals, then yes, absolutely they're going to notice, or nice straight lines. However, because it's all higgledy-piggledy, they're not going to notice. So this one goes on and sits just like that. I'm liking. Now, I'm in two minds. I can't decide if we are going to go around the back of our... I'm not sure if I want to draw around the edge of my triangles or not. Because I like it, but I'm not sure if I'd like it more if I did around the edge of my triangles. So whilst I'm thinking, I know I need to do my little white dots on here. Down my stalk. You can see how effective it is just using one of those little triangles. Mouse set. I shouldn't have thrown that to one side. I do like it. I'm not throwing it away. Right, so I think that's all of them, isn't it? That's just going to go there. That's going to go there like so. I'm going to put a sentiment on it and then we'll decide if we want to do any more. Part of me saying yes, part of me saying no. Tell you what I am going to do that I'm not liking. Can you see here? We lose our stalk a little bit. Yep, so we're going to take our good old trusty pen and we're just going to come down the edge. I'm not worrying about the petal, the leaf, because we know we've already cut that out and we've spent time cutting that out a minute ago. And I'm just going to come down here, creating a little border that we cut out. Yeah, it's already looking so much better. So don't worry about it being perfect. Do like little scratchy lines. Yeah, if you do little scratchy lines, nobody notices. if you go wrong. If you try and do a perfect line, see, that looks better, doesn't it, if I pop that up there? Yeah, it's standing out now, isn't it? There we go. I'm just going to grab, no, I'm not going to do any shading. Yes, I am. I'm just going to do a little bit. Now I'm going to do quite a lot under here actually, because we've got that border as well. So I'm just going to come round. So I am putting down quite a lot of shading on here, because we've got that white border, and this has got to stick out the bottom of it. And we know my cutting out wasn't that neat and tidy, so I want this to just stick out a little bit. Can you see? Ever so slightly. No, you can't see. You need go-go gadget eyes to see that far down. There you go. So I'm just going to pull it out a little bit more. That was a blast from the past, wasn't it? Go-go gadget. Tried to make my two watch that. Nope, didn't happen. There we go. Right, I'm not going to faff. She says, still faffing. Right, stop, stop, stop. I'm going to also grab one of last month's stamps. You know, that are little best wishes and thinking of you ones, because it's just screaming out for it across there. So we've got best wishes, thinking of you, and sympathy. I think I'm going to go with that thinking of you one there. It just fits perfectly, but any of these that I get well soon will look quite cool. It's a bit bright for a sympathy one, isn't it? But you know what I mean. These little ones are great. Oops, it's upside down. There we go. I'm going to grab a little scrap from the side. And the black ink. We have got thinking of you. So this was the last month's monthly make. Those really useful sayings. That was last month, wasn't it? Yeah. With the flower. Put that on here. So we've got thinking of you. Let me put that back over there, because that set is together. A little guillotine. I'm going to chop this one down. I should have some offcuts of black over there as well. There we go. And then I just need the small bit of black around this. Chop that down there. We'll turn it around. I think the borders might be a bit big on this. There we go. Go over there. So this is going to come down in this bottom corner. I cut it a little bit too big. We could pop it off the side, couldn't we? There's an idea. And I'm going to go for I'm still not sure if I want to doodle around those triangles. It's weird, isn't it? Sometimes you just don't know. So anyway, you can see where we're going with this. Let's see if my glue wants to work tonight. Nope. The end's sealed up. Let me unbung it. There we go. going to put this on here. I've got that lovely black background. Put it down a bit. There we go. Pop it on there as well. A bit of encouragement to stay stuck for a second, and then I think I am going to do that like that. Oh, it's a bit nifty, doesn't it? And I am. So I want you to commit this to memory. Remember how good it looked, right? That's how it looks now. Yep. So you know how good it did look if I mess this next bit up. I do like experimenting though, so we'll see. Just go in around. I'm going to leave a gap around our lovely flower. Oops. Of course, anything behind that flower we're not going to see, so I'm not worrying about that bit. Could really go to town on the doodling, couldn't you now? You've got all those in the middle, and it's helping tidy up a few of my over-spritzed bits. I really do need to go back to spritzing school, don't I? Oops, that was a wibbly wobbly one. It's easier to draw the line towards me. So any bits of the design, the focal image, I'm just leaving a bit of a gap around because we're not interfering with that, because this is purely our background. Ooh. I've got to admit, I prefer it with the little lines, don't I? Yep, the little lines for me. And then, but this is just one of your triangles. You could do it with the one with the lines on. You could have done it with one of the smaller ones. But this is just one of them. Now we need to be clever with our sticking, don't we? I do. I prefer it with those little lines. So let's get this stuck. Whilst I'm sticking, I might as well keep going, ain't I? I've got my sticky stuff in front of me. My glue. There we go. Let's grab our thinking view. I'm just lining that up with the edge of what would have been the white card. Yeah, that worked, didn't it? And then do we, don't we? Yes, we will. Let me grab some foam pads. There they are. Because we've used our brusher on it, it's all folding. It's all curving in. So I'm just going to curve it back a bit like that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm so chuffed. It worked. It was a bit of a leap of faith though, wasn't it, that bit? Then black lines could have made it or spoilt it, but I think they made it. I think it worked. That one. Oh, I've got a nice thin one there for my leaf already. My only regret is the chopping off the bottom of my leaf, but that's okay. all I'm going to do now is I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to curl it down like that. No one's going to know. Well, you guys are, because you know, you saw me do it. You know I made a boo-boo. Yeah, these are my super sticky foam pads. They just go everywhere. Off my finger, thank you. And then we're going to line this one up. They lined up the wrong way around. There we go. And then the last thing we need on here is a bit of glossy accents, because if we've got dots and dashes and, you know, these bits, we need to have a little bit of glossy accent, she says, but the glossy accent doesn't want to unglossy accent. It doesn't want me to unblock its nozzle. Rude. There we go. Oops, it was proper clogged today. Right. Let's get going. Actually, I'm going to start with the centre, and then if my glossy accents clogs up again. Do this middle bit. There we go. We might be getting visitors, hang on. Nope. They went for a walk because they're not in school tomorrow. I thought they must have come back. And they might come and say hello. They didn't. Bear's quite excited because he's only in 2 days this week. Because of it's voting day on Thursday, isn't it? So his school's a polling station, so he gets an extra day off. There's many reasons why he likes new school, and being a polling station is definitely one of them. There we go. Right, I'm stopping. Move away. Let's see if I can unbung my nozzle. Right, I'm liking that one. I'm gonna stop. Hoping I unblock my nozzle on that. Reminds me I need to get some more ordered. Right, there you go. You can see I've just added those little bits of dots and dashes. Yeah, and we've got that bit there. How cool's that? So that was using one of our stamps from our monthly make set, one of our little triangles. Really useful for backgrounds, aren't they? And then I just used an old one. One of a kind, I think it was called. And one of our sentiments from last month's monthly make. So there you go. I've got to admit, I didn't think it'd turn out quite that good. I had an idea, but for once I actually yeah, I kind of stuck to my idea. There's a miracle, isn't it? So that's it from me tonight. That was also the last make using April's box. Next week we will be opening May's box, so do hope you can join me for that. It's bank holiday again, isn't it? So that will be at 7 o'clock on Monday next week with a brand new box. We'll be back here on Wednesday at 8:30 for whatever we decide to do. So if you've got an idea what you'd like us to do on Wednesday, give us a shout. Oh, thank you all for your lovely comments. It turned out, didn't it? It did. And I'm glad I didn't do it in rows, because I think it did look too rowish, too yeah, I know what the word is, too straight, too blocky, whereas merging our colours using the distress inks really worked for that, didn't it? Yeah, cool. So yeah, back Wednesday 8:30 for just whatever goes. Whatever's on my desk on Wednesday we'll have a play with, shall we? So I'll see you then. Thank you for joining me tonight. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.